Mahdi, what is shirk? How did it begin? Forms of shirk in the modern age and the way to avoid shirk. Assalamu alaikum. What is shirk? To associate someone else with the essence or attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or to consider someone equal to him. Or to respect or obey someone in the same way as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is done. Is called shirk. For example, considering any kind of worship as permissible for someone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is, to offer prayers, or to fast, or to slaughter for or asking help from someone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also shirk. E.g. asking help from someone who is in the grave or to call on him. Or to call on someone absent to help in a matter over which no one has power except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is every verbal action or deed in which Sharia has applied the description of shirk. For example, swearing by someone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the last Prophet Muhammad said that whoever swears by other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a disbeliever or did shirk. Show off also falls into shirk. Show off is doing something, not for Allah but only to show people. The story of Ibrahim as in Surah Al-An'am in the Quran is very instructive and encouraging. Quran says, "We also showed Ibrahim, alayhi salam, the wonders of the heavens and the earth, so he would be sure in faith. When the night grew dark upon him, he saw a star and said, 'This is my Lord.' But when it said, he said, 'I do not love things that said.' Then when he saw the moon rising, he said, 'This one is my Lord.' But when it disappeared, he said, 'If my Lord does not guide me, I will certainly be one of the misguided people.' Then when he saw the sun shining, he said, 'This must be my Lord. It is the greatest.' But again when it said, he declared, 'O my people, I totally reject whatever you associate with Allah in worship. I have turned my face towards the one who has originated the heavens and the earth being upright and I am not one of the polytheists.' Surah Al-An'am 6. 75-79. How did shirk begin? Images can be a form of shirk, polytheism. Because the first people to enter polytheism were through the same pictures and statues. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "And they said, never leave your gods and never leave Wad or Sut or Yagath and Yak and Nasr." Surah Nut. Verse 23. Ibn Abbas explained this verse in his Tafsir, explanation of Quranic verses, that these are the names of some righteous people of Nut. As time. And when they died, Satan inspired their people to place images at the places where they used to sit, and to call those images by their names. The people did so. But those images were not worshipped till those people, who initiated them, had died and the origin of the images had become obscure. Whereupon people began worshipping them. Sahih Bukhari 4920. What is the importance of avoiding shirk? The first message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to mankind through all the prophets is La ilaha illa Allah, which means there is no God but Allah, and this is called Tawhid. Tawhid means that Allah is one and no one shares in his essence and attributes. The opposite of Tawhid, monotheism, is shirk, which means associating anyone with Allah. And Allah will never forgive shirk. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "Indeed, Allah does not forgive associating others with him, in worship, but forgives anything else of whoever he wills. And whoever associates others with Allah has indeed committed a grave sin." Surah An-Nisa 4:48. Muhammad Qasim bin Abdul Karim has had many dreams in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last Prophet Muhammad instructed him to follow. The straight path and what to avoid? The most important of these is shirk. Muhammad Qasim emphasizes that we should avoid shirk and its forms as much as possible because this is the key to our success, in this world as well as in the hereafter. And if we want to get out of darkness and misguidance, we must give up shirk and its forms and urge others to avoid it as well. Allah has instructed Muhammad Qasim many times that on the day of resurrection, I will forgive every sin, but I will not forgive shirk. Forms of shirk in the modern age and their prevention. In the present age, it has become very tough to recognize and avoid shirk. And it is a pity that in this modern age, shirk and its forms abound everywhere. Even in a dream. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Muhammad Qasim that this world had never been filled with as much shirk, polytheism, as it is today. A frequent example of shirk is unnecessary images, such as images found on food products and other daily used materials. For example, drinks, milk, yogurt, shampoo and other such male and female consumer goods that have pictures on them. Another example is the large billboards in various places in the cities that contain unnecessary images of any animal or creature on them. Similarly, shirks, polytheism, are also available in movies where false gods and their fake powers or other evil deeds are shown, such as magics, to manifest a common man as very powerful. It is also a form of shirk. If you see a picture on an advertisement board, don't look at it and roll your eyes and say, Subhanallah, meaning that Allah is pure from what I see and there is no partner of Allah. If you see a statue in a park, shop, or any other place, roll your eyes and don't look at them. If you are watching a movie and it shows a false god, don't watch it and turn it off. If there are any pictures of any living things in your room or on the walls, remove them. If you have toys for your children, keep them out of your sight or hide them in a closet when they stop playing. If you have small pictures or statues inside your home, throw them away or hide them too. If you have any creams, perfumes, or other beauty items, as well as the logos of some brands, are made with a picture of a living thing, then hide those pictures on them with a tape or marker because you will need to use these things for a few weeks. Even if you have a bubble gum in your pocket that contains a picture on it, don't put it in your pocket or take off the picture paper. Never say or write about a person that he is our only hope, but say that hope is only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is no harm in having pictures on mobile phones, laptops, or computers because they are not visible, but also keep them hidden in a folder in the computer. If there is a picture on your desktop wallpaper or profile picture, change or remove it because you will see it all the time unnecessarily. And there is no need to look at it. You can take photos of yourself or your children digitally or with a camera, but also keep them hidden and open only when needed. If you go to a friend's house and there are pictures in his house or room, do not insist on removing them, but do not look at them because that house is not yours and you are not responsible for it. Of course, if your friend wants to learn about shirk and they remove those pictures by themselves, then it's okay. But don't force them. Similarly, people keep pots in their gardens that are statues or idols of animals or humans. You should not retain such statues in your house, and if someone has these idol-like pots in theirs, do not look at them. Indian movies always start with either an idol, or a statue, or an image of a false god, or an idol worshipping is shown during the movie. Movie also has its own world, and the owner of this world is also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And no one else can be associated with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or shown in it, even if it is just a movie. Sometimes we have to comply with government-imposed laws where images are required. In that case, images are permissible, such as images on rupees and dollars. as well as having photos on passports and ID cards. And in this case, you can keep it in your pocket. And also if someone has a health issue and there is a picture on the medicine pack, he can keep it in his pocket. But we should not have any unnecessary photos in our pockets. We also need to make sure that our clothes, our window curtains, our beds, our towels, our carpets, and even our prayer rugs do not have a picture of any living thing on them. Use a janamaz, prayer rug, with a simple print or design. Sometimes there are too many flowers or other forms of prints on the musalla or janamaz, prayer rug. And often they look like an image of a living soul. So do not use such janamaz, prayer rug, in your daily life. Whenever you see a picture or an idol or a statue, turn your eyes away from it and say Subhanallah. Dua for protection from shirk in the hadith. Hazrat Makil ibn Yasar R.A. says, I came with Abu Bakr Siddiq R.A. to the service of the last Prophet Muhammad. The last Prophet Muhammad said, O Abu Bakr, shirk, polytheism, is hidden among the people like a black ant in a black stone in a moonless night. Abu Bakr Siddiq Akbar R.A. asked, is there any shirk with Allah SWT other than believing in Allah? Last Prophet Muhammad said, I swear by the caste in whose possession my soul is. Shirk, polytheism, is more hidden than the black ant in a black stone in a moonless night. May I tell you a prayer by which you can be safe from every shirk, big or small? Say, Allahumma inni audidhu bika and ushrika bika wa ana ilamua. Wa istakfiraka lima la ilamua. O Allah, I seek refuge in you from knowingly associating partners with you. And I seek your forgiveness for that which I do not know. Narrated by Al-Bukhari in Al-Adab al-Mufrad, 739. And authenticated by Al-Albani. Our present tragedy is that no head of any Muslim country cares about avoiding shirk. And they are not even creating awareness about it. The only way to get the Muslim Ummah out of the darkness and regain its lost status is to get rid of shirk. Insha'Allah. May Allah help us to avoid all kinds of shirk. Ameen.